When I was making my defining art of the 1920s video, I realized something crazy. All the really good art happened in the 1930s. Think about it. The 1920s introduced stuff like surrealism and jazz, but in the 1930s, things was really cooking with gas. The entire world might have been experiencing an economic depression, but people were making some really bonkers art. We're gonna be looking at some of these famous artists and how this perspective's changed from the 1920s to the 1930s. And now, featuring all the stuff I couldn't put in the last video, I give you my picks for the best art of the 1930s. And yes, I will be using this voice the entire time. We'll see how it goes. Salvador Dali. This guy's a freak and you love it. The only notable piece of his from the 1920s is this one called The Great, and it's so lewd, I can't even show you the whole thing on YouTube. He made some really wacky good shit in the 1930s though. Yeah, this is the one you all like, the one with the blobby clock. They call it persistence of memory. People like to read into the melting clock saying things like it represents the concept of time getting all gooey and being a construct. But our boy Sal says it's actually just inspired by some melting cheese. Dali said he tried to go crazy on purpose to make him see stuff differently. He calls this the paranoid critical method. I don't think it works for everybody, but in his case, it works. Looking at a Dali painting is like a trip to another dimension, and that's always a little bit refreshing. Man Ray. Check out this guy's name, Man Ray. Yeah, he's like a stinging fish, only instead of a stingray, bam, he hits you with the photos. This is a lady with diamond tears on her face. Now, where have we seen that before? But this was like the first time people ever did that, and introduced a classic combo of eyeballs next to sparkly rocks. We love that shit today. Photography was still a pretty new thing back then, and people were still figuring out different ways to use it. But this Man Ray guy really pushed the envelope on what a photo could do. He was already trying to mess him up by exposing film to the sun and using different types of film and stuff. He took a lot of fashion photos because he could make the human body look really weird. I mean, talk about a glamour shot. It's not just about the picture, it's about making you think. Sure makes me think, so that's Man Ray. Oh yeah, and he made some pretty cool paintings too. Now this guy could really paint. His name's Archibald Motley, and he painted these pictures of something called the Chicago Black Renaissance, which was this explosion of culture in Chicago where he lived, kind of like the Harlem Renaissance over in New York. He got group scenes where people is just losing their gourds, and then also very tasteful portraits of regular people in their homes. This is what he looks like. This one here is called Street Scene, and it's a scene of this street in Chicago. Archie painted it to show the growing racial tensions which were leading to segregation in his city. You'll notice the only one in this picture not having a good time is this cop. The colors are rich and dark, which give you the impression that it's nighttime, but it's not scary. Instead, we got trumpets and a brass band like a kind of parade, this lady singing, but people start to look more suspicious when they see the police officer, like these two ladies. And some of these people's not even coming into the party at all, they're staying in their house. These types of paintings is full of bold color and people in motion. It makes me feel like I'm part of the action. Plus, it would become an identifying aesthetic for Java cities and other coffee joints all around the country in the later 20th century. Man, I do love a good cup of coffee. This lady, right, Josephine Baker. She's an American, but she takes herself to Paris because in America they treat her like doo-doo. She's pretty much the most legendary dancer of the flap of times. Look at that! She's like a dancing flamingo. This is a scene from a movie of hers called Princess Tam Tam. Word on the street is they wrote that rumba number just for her. After all, eclectic beats was getting more popular, and this jazz thingamagidget was becoming a worldwide sensation. They even had these crazy things called dance marathons, where people would compete to stay upright for money. Talk about taking a fun thing and turning it into torture. But people really needed the money. Not Miss Baker though, she was a star, and even helped fight the Nazis in World War II. What a great gal. Ooh, this one gets me every time. It's pretty heavy, so we won't spend too much time here, but let's just say it was Picasso's way of making an anti-war statement. He painted Guernica for the 1937 International Exposition because politicians asked him to. He saw the city he really loved called Guernica get bombed, and he thought that was really messed up. Back in the 1930s, they just had World War I, and everyone was trying not to have another big war. But the Spanish was already having one, a civil war. It was really bad. But the painting did not prevent some more war. It's almost like some people saw Guernica and thought, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that again. Beats me, I don't know why you would want to start a war, but it's a cool painting. I really like the cow, or I guess it's a bull because of Spain and all. Alright, so in the 1930s, stuff in America was going pretty bad. They got the Dust Bowl, where basically the whole state of Oklahoma gets blown away. Their economies are so messed up, people's is jumping out of buildings because they can't find a job. But then they got this president who tries to turn some things around. And they got these places where people can go escape. They call it the movies. And they got sound now and color. They made two really big movies in the 1930s, The Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind. But I got my scruples with both of those. This one's alright though, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's in color and it's long, 83 minutes. They drawed each frame by hand. 83 minutes at 24 frames per second, that's like 120,000 drawings by my calculations. This movie was a big deal because up until that point, animation was so labor intensive it had really only been used for short cartoons. And you could do things in animation you couldn't really do in real life. They worked on it for 4 years, and it's got singing and bluebirds. This is pretty much the only movie my grandma let me watch, so I watched it a lot. I watched it so much she gave me a kick in the pants and told me to go outside. But I liked the movie. I liked the part where the little bluebird steps on the pie crust. Except I don't know about Snow White's voice. She's a little bit of a screecher. Alright, well folks, that's my time. Thanks for sticking it out with me. Say, what are your picks for the best stuff of the 1930s? Let me know in them comments. You could like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. And even if you don't do none of that stuff, I'm so glad you came around. And take care of yourselves, because it's going to be the 1930s again pretty soon. And we don't want no Great Depression. Thanks everybody. Cheers.